prediction. An analysis of Act 1, Scene 3 of Macbeth, where the witches give their predictions to Macbeth. So this scene starts with the three witches entering after thunder, which is...
Where hast thou been, sister?
Killing swine.
Sister, where thou, a sailor's wife, had just and mulched and mulched and mulched. Give me, quoth I won't thee which the rumph and runion's cries. Her husband's to outho, game master, oh, tiger. But in a sieve I'll thither sail, like a rat without a tail. I'll do, and I'll do, and I'll do.
I'll give thee a wind.
Rout kind, and I another. I myself or the other, and the very posts they blow. All the quarters that they know. I the shipman's card, I'll dry him dry as hay. Sleep shall neither nor night nor day hang upon his penthouse lid. He shall live for it. Where he see nights 9 times 9, shall he dwindle, peak, and pine. Though his mark cannot be lost, yet it shall be tempted, tossed. Give me the quarter.
In this first little part, where the witches are just chatting, the reason that's there is to give us an insight into their cruelty, their unbelievable cruelty of the witches. The fact that all that's happened is this woman didn't want to give her a chestnut, and the witch has decided to torment the woman's husband who's at sea. So it doesn't take much to anger them and to make them want to hurt you. We also have this idea of the wife being somewhat the cause of their husband's torment, which some people view Lady Macbeth as the aggressor, and it's her fault that Macbeth becomes so tortured. We also here have images of sleeplessness. So that is what the first witch is going to do to this woman's husband. Okay, yes, she's going to create a storm, and she's also going to stop him sleeping. So she says, sleep shall neither night or day hang upon his penthouse lid. So his penthouse lid is his top eyelid. So he's not going to sleep. He's not going to sleep night or day. Now, sleeplessness is something that also happens to Macbeth. After Macbeth kills King Duncan, he talks about how he can no longer sleep. So it's interesting that that the witches are cursing this man with sleeplessness, just as they kind of curse Macbeth with it as well. We also have the pathetic fallacy. Yes, we have the thunder, which we mentioned already at the beginning. We also have the idea that they're going to create this storm that the ship will have to sail through and cause a rocky journey for the sailor, caused by his wife, not giving the witch a chestnut. So then we are alerted to the fact that Macbeth is coming. So a drum, Macbeth doth come. Then they start speaking in unison again, as we saw them do in scene 1, where they had those famous lines that fair is foul and foul is fair. Here they do a little chant, and there's that repetition of the number 3. So they say thrice to thine and thrice to mine and thrice again to make up 9. So 9 as well is divisible by 3. So we've got this idea of this supernatural number. 3 witches, 3 scenes with the witches in it, and there's 3 thrice to thine and thrice to mine. We've got this repetition of the 3. 3 we know is a supernatural number. It's the number of the supernatural. 3 a.m. is the hour of the devil. God has 3 parts. So God has the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. So 3 is used here by Shakespeare as that supernatural number. And we see them speaking in unison, which is like their spell, like their chant. And then Macbeth and Banquo enter. And Macbeth's very first words that we hear him say at all have come straight from the mouths of the witches already. So he says, so foul and fair a day I have not seen, which echoes the witches' last line in scene 1, where they said fair is foul and foul is fair. So we already have this connection between, do the witches kind of control or impact on a Macbeth's actions and the actions of others as well. Then we have description of the witches from Banquo. So he's the one who describes them. He says they don't look like they're from Earth, and yet they're here. Then he says, they understand me because they've put their fingers to their lips. They've got a choppy finger and to their skinny lips. And he says they should be women. However, they have beards. Okay, so, but he's already not really taken by them. He is kind of like, what are you doing? Who are you? He doesn't seem particularly afraid of them. Then they speak. And again, they speak in threes. There's 3 things that they tell him. One is that he's Thane of Glums. The other is that he's Thane of Cawdor, and then that he shall be king thereafter. So again, we have this supernatural number of 3. They each say one prophecy, each building on the next. Banquo says to him, good sir, why do you start and seem to fear things that do sound so fair? That alerts us to the fact that Macbeth has started. He has been taken aback. He's gone, and we kind of get an idea that the reason for that might be that this is what he's hoped. This is already part of his ambition, is to become king. And so that's why he seems to fear it, because how do they know? How do the witches know this? And it's something that he's thought of and he's never told anybody. So Banquo wants to know about himself as well. But he just says he wants to know the truth. He says, speak then to me, who neither beg nor fear your favours nor your hate. So I'm not begging for your favours and I don't fear your hatred. Just tell me the truth. Whereas Macbeth hears something that he has thought before. So the witches are using what we call equivocation. So when we hear the porter speak later on, he talks about equivocators. And here we see them as equivocators. So equivocation, I'll let you quickly read through those definitions. Basically what it means is saying something using terms that where the meaning is a bit ambiguous. So ambiguous is like, can have more than one meaning. Double speaking in a way that could mean a number of things. So they're being quite confusing and mysterious in what they're saying to him. And we see in this second definition of equivocation, both from the Oxford Dictionary, that the point of it is to mislead, okay, to mislead others. So here the witches are trying to mislead. And it is especially the expression of a pretty much lie in the form of something that is, when you say it, it's true, but what you're implying is not. So that's what we see the witches doing here with their prophecies. So their speech is full of confusing terms. This is one of our major themes, that things are not as they seem. And we see that all the way through the play. Even the Macbeth, he might be the king, but his personality, he is not a king. There's a distinction made between that he's not the rightful king. He's not as he should be, as he seems. So their speech is full of those confusing terms. They're not direct. They speak around a point, as opposed to saying it directly. Macbeth calls them imperfect speakers, but then begs them to stay because he wants to hear more of their imperfect speech so he can read more into it. And just as that what they say is unclear, it's also unclear whether they affect the future or just predict the future. Would Macbeth have become king if he had not heard that prophecy? And Banquo says that the witches' words will enkindle you unto the crown. He says to Macbeth, their words are going to make you try for the crown. So Banquo already has a sense of what Macbeth will do. Then we have this line from Banquo, very important. Oftentimes to win us to our harm, the instruments of darkness tell us truths. Win us with honest trifles to betray us in deepest consequence. So he's saying, yes, they're equivocators. They're telling us these little truths, but it will have a terrible consequence in the end. He already understands what the witches are doing. So that's a little bit about Macbeth, Act 1, Scene 3.